This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 20th day of August in the year 2018. Here's what we're tracking this evening. Hours after being declared a new chairperson of the People's National Congress Reform, Public Health Minister Valda Lawrence was back at her party's headquarters to host the Congress of its women's arm, the National Congress of Women. She spoke to news source during the lunch break and laid out some of her plans for the PNC reform under her chairmanship. Ms. Lawrence said one of the priorities she has is to ignite a fusion that will see the people who support the party and the party's leadership working closer together.
I think people want to feel the government now. They want to feel the party. And so that is what I want to bring. I want to bring that touch. I want people to know that while we can't do everything at one time, that we are addressing their issues. I want people to feel that way. I want people to come to that realization that we are the same people who marched with them on the streets and who cried with them when they lost their sons and their daughters. That we are those same persons. And they have put us in higher office. And so it is time for party and people to work together.
When she was announced the new chairperson of the party, trouncing the other two male candidates in the process, Lawrence became the second woman to hold that position in the party's 61-year history. In her victory speech, she said she will be offering her heart to the people of Guyana. Today, she explained to News Source what she really meant by that.
Well, when I talk about having a heart for my people, it simply means that whatever my people are going through, I feel it too. If somebody is sad, I feel sad for them. If they're lost, I feel that loss too. If they're jobless, I feel helpless just as how they feel helpless. And so I can empathize with our people in their various situations. And I have been there with my people. And so I know the issues which they face. And we canvass on fixing those issues or addressing those issues rather. And so I want to bring some acceleration to that.
Ms. Lawrence said she would also like to focus more and talk to the grassroots people more, since in many instances they are the ones who are more aware of what is going on around the country. She said she wants the government and the people of the country to be more engaged. One of the immediate focus of the new PNC Reform Chairman will be her party's preparations for the upcoming local government elections. The party's new executive is expected to meet soon on that and other issues. More news in a moment.
Summer is for selfies with lots of data from GTT. Activate a 3-day or more data plan to get up to 35% extra data and a chance to win big. LOL this summer with GTT, Guyana's #1 network.
Summer is for friends, weekly prizes, and super summer getaways from Caribbean Airlines. So top up $1,000 or more and get 25% bonus credit plus a chance to win big. LOL this summer with GTT, Guyana's #1 network.
Welcome back. Still in the world of politics, though she is still to decide on whether she will seek her party's backing to be its next presidential candidate for the upcoming 2020 elections, Opposition Chief Whip and longtime PPP executive member Gail Teixeira admitted today that Valda Lawrence's rise to the chairmanship of the People's National Congress might be a push for her to seek the PPP's nod to be its presidential candidate. Speaking at a press conference today, Teixeira said she is still to decide whether she will push to become the presidential candidate for her party, but she is convinced that she could take on Valda Lawrence and beat her in any political race.
Maybe Valda coming on might tantalize me, because I think I could slaughter her too, and in the elections. But I shouldn't use the word slaughter, so I retract that word. I could definitely beat her at any elections.
The PPP executive member said her party will decide on a presidential candidate before the end of this year. Already a number of possible candidates have been making the rounds in the press and on social media, quietly pushing their candidacy. Teixeira said the PPP will probably put together a code of conduct for those members who aspire to be the party's presidential candidate and might find themselves facing off with each other. Already a local chutney singer has released a song to endorse former Attorney General Anil Nandlal to be the party's presidential candidate. Nandlal has distanced himself from the chutney endorsement, saying he had nothing to do with the song. Teixeira told reporters the song was a bad one anyway. Turning now to local government elections, as the countdown begins to the November 12th to local government elections, the opposition People's Progressive Party is raising concern with the Guyana Elections Commission about a recent decision by the Minister of Communities to declare Mahdia as a new town and add a number of new neighborhood democratic councils in several areas. The PPP at a press conference this morning expressed some worry that although the new NDCs have been announced, the boundaries and demarcations for the areas are still to be known, and it's important that the boundaries be made known.
Subsequently, as a result of the changes uncovered in this order, a meeting between a delegation from the People's Progressive Party and the Chief Election Officer, Mr. Keith Lowenfield, was held on July the 30th, 2018. Mr. Lowenfield was amendable during the meeting to the PPP, proposing alternatives to the constituency identified in each of the 14 local authority areas contained in the specific order.
Executive Secretary of the PPP, Zulfikar Mustafa. He said the party has met with the Elections Commission and has expressed its concerns. The PPP, he noted, has also raised the issue of reduced constituencies in some areas.
Minister Bulletin has failed to observe the constitutional provisions enshrined in Article 13 of the Guyana Constitution, which mandates, and I quote, providing increased opportunities for the participation of citizens and other organizations in the management and decision-making processes of the state, with particular emphasis on those areas that directly affect the well-being, unquote.
Party executive Gail Teixeira said while the party is not contemplating any move to the courts over the issue at this time, it is an opportunity for the Elections Commission to pull up its socks. On the police blotter, the Guyana Police Force today announced the arrest of an interdicted cadet officer of the force who allegedly threatened his reputed wife to shoot her. Earlier this year, the man, Franz Paul, had a criminal charge against him dismissed when he compensated the victim, and the victim no longer offered evidence against him. That victim was a young man who was shot in the mouth by the officer when he was 15 years old. Today, the police force said the officer is facing investigation into several offenses after his reputed wife wrestled an illegal firearm away from him during a confrontation early this morning. During that confrontation, he reportedly drew the loaded firearm and threatened to shoot the woman. She managed to disarm him and handed the weapon to a neighbor who took it to the Roundville police station. The weapon is a .32 pistol. It had 13 live rounds, with one of those rounds being found in the breech. The officer was held at a Georgetown hospital where he sought medical attention for an injured right hand. He has admitted ownership of the illegal firearm with ammunition. The Guyana Police Force said he's presently not on actual duty, as the decision of his reinstatement rests solely with the Police Service Commission, which was only recently sworn in. He will now face several charges in connection with the illegal firearm. And finally tonight, months after a police service weapon went missing from the Brigdan police station, a 21-year-old police constable, Colonel Paul, was today charged with the offense of larceny. However, he was granted bail in the sum of $150,000. The court was told that on the 3rd of February at the Brigdan police station, the young constable allegedly stole the .38 special revolver along with 6 live matching rounds and a gun holster, all carrying a total value of $273,000 and being the property of the Guyana Police Force. An attorney representing the accused told the court that the constable had nothing to do with the disappearance of the weapon. He claimed that the man left the weapon in the care of 6 other officers but discovered it missing not too long after. Bail was granted and the accused was ordered to report to a police station weekly until the completion of his trial. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. Gordon Mosley reporting.